people weren't expecting women our age. They don't read the bios. So they didn't realize we're professional dancers for 47 years. They think we're just neighbors or I'm her mother and that we're just going out into the street and dancing.
Right.
And, you know.
All right, buckle up because today I've got one of the internet's favorite dancing duo on the show. They are, they're living proof that TikTok trends aren't just for Gen Z. They're for anyone with good hips and better Wi-Fi.
Good hips.
You know them as the Baby Boomers, Beth and Cheryl, two best friends who basically said, retirement, no, let's go viral instead. Let's have a warm welcome to two legends. Welcome.
You blessed Dad, Michael.
Thank you. So, can you guys go ahead and tell us a little bit more about who you guys are for the listeners who may not understand who the Baby Boomers are and what you guys do?
Sure. Yes, this is Beth. I'm Cheryl. We've been friends for 47 years. We met in line at an audition for a show that was going to be at Disneyland called Kids of the Kingdom. And we just like we do, we start talking.
Yeah, exactly. And we have gone on to, I used to have blonde hair instead of white hair, but Cheryl and I were the same age, and everything that we auditioned for, we would get. For some reason, they want a brunette and they'd want a blonde. So we've done a Broadway show together,
commercials, television, movies. And we live in Los Angeles. So we moved here in 1978, met each other. And from 78 until now, we traveled Europe together with the show. We've done a lot of shows together, a lot of great things. And this one was the big one, which was the Grammys backing up DaBaby. They had 6 people of our mature, what do we call ourselves?
Of a certain age.
Of a certain age. And we backed up DaBaby on the Grammys in 2021.
Okay, let's back up just a second with this story. Because the funny thing is that they wanted people that looked like this, not like that. So they were going for, So anyway, I had gotten it, and it was during COVID. I went down to the convention center. Cheryl knew that, I was doing this, and we had another friend that was doing it.
And I never got the call originally because I didn't have gray hair.
No, she doesn't have that look.
So it's COVID March of 2021. So we're all still in our homes. We're all still in our homes.
Masks,
the whole bit. So it's a Sunday morning, and I get a phone call from my agent.
Our agent.
And she said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Nothing." She goes, "Can you get down to the convention center?"
Yes.
And get a COVID test. So I said, "Is this for the Grammys?" Because I knew she was down there. And they said, "Yes." One of the ladies couldn't make it from Santa Barbara to get her COVID test. And in those days, they were really strict. You had to have your COVID test 2 days before you started rehearsal, or you were out. So I drove down there, signed my contract, took a picture, and sent it and said, "Look where I am."
And I'm like, "What are you doing down there?" They said, "I got it." So we here again, what a weird thing, right?
Weird.
So weird. I got it on my 63rd birthday. It was the 63rd Grammys.
Right.
Cheryl ends up getting it. Trevor Noah, we were in the convention center, Bad Bunny. We had to watch everybody Dua Lipa, because they didn't have a live audience because of COVID. Mm-hmm. So Trevor Noah, it was his first time to host.
Right.
And after he got through, he goes, "Well, that was DaBaby and Baby Boomers," because he has to do the comedy.
Okay.
And DaBaby was like, "What do you mean, boomer?"
Yeah. What do you mean?
DaBaby didn't know what that
meant. It's Anthony Hamilton and Roddy Ricch. There's no boomers here. And Trevor Noah had to go over and explain what boomers were.
So funny. Boomers are their age group.
Yeah.
It had to explain the joke. So on the way home, we talked about it, and my husband had already been on TikTok, and he said, that song, they do a dance trend to Rockstar. And so we were talking about it. We said, well,
let's do it.
Let's do it. There's a feeling around it. So our first video, instead of dancing around a Lamborghini, which most of the young girls barely wearing anything did, we came out of a minivan.
My husband's minivan, a Toyota Sierra minivan. Perfect.
For us, it was perfect. And we danced in the street, and our first video went over 1 million.
We didn't even know really about TikTok at all. We knew Instagram.
So that's interesting. Let me ask this. So that was your first viral video, right? When you guys first went viral, what was the most surprising DM that you guys got or reaction?
When we first went viral, well, I do remember a surprising one. It wasn't necessarily this one, but it was the one we did. Wow. No, what was the one with the German?
Wow, you can really dance.
Wow, you can really dance. There were some Russian.
That one went viral.
That went viral. And the surprising for me was the Russian people saying, "Wow, people your age in Russia, they're usually on their hands and knees picking potatoes."
Oh gosh.
But I think
that was surprising.
I think one of the funniest things and why we took off and why we had such a big following, because the surprise factor, people weren't expecting women our age. They don't read the bios. So they didn't realize we're professional dancers for 47 years. They think we're just neighbors or I'm her mother and that we're just going out into the street and dancing.
Right.
And, you know, really well, and that we can be precise and together and we can kind of look alike. And so most people are like, wow,
what is this?
Interesting. Yeah.
Who are you?
I think the biggest surprise was it going viral itself, because we didn't really know. I kind of dabbled in it, maybe looked once or twice. You went to TikTok. Right?
Yeah, and 5 years ago, remember when who was the Lizzo? She would post something and she would have 50 million views immediately.
Right, remember? It was
so the algorithm was so different. So we could actually sit there and watch it spin to 1 million.
It go to 1 million that first night, I think.
Yeah, it was like,
wow.
And we were laughing
in one night.
Watching it roll.
We were so surprised.
We were like, what is this? And here we are 5 years later.
And then we just kept on looking at stuff and doing stuff, and we had to learn to edit and shoot, and you know, we just used our theatrical background.
So currently you guys are would you say you're more predominant on Instagram or TikTok?
TikTok.
Okay.
I think Instagram is a little harder.
Yes, that's definitely for sure.
A little hard.
From a strategy and growth perspective, TikTok is much harder to grow.
We have a very fond affection for TikTok just because that's the one that even made us think, oh, and you can make money at this?
Right.
Yeah.
Doing a 30-second video, they're going to pay us, you know, they're going to ask us to do a contract. They're going to, you know, we were surprised.
And we have agents now that our TV and film agents actually are also social media. That same agency has us as social media. Yeah. So we do product.
With that kind of being said, let me ask you guys, do you guys ever feel like your generation brings something to TikTok that younger creators can't?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, at least for Cheryl and I know what we do bring for us is we bring all of the years of professionalism that we've had. We have been consistent. We know about consistency. We know about discipline because we are disciplined dancers from the get-go. We know about theatrics, so we know about costuming.
Right.
You
they
know,
like it when we dress alike.
Yeah, and we know, you know, we know certain things that younger generations, unless they're in show business, but even then I think the younger generation in show business is a little different. We're triple threats. We were taught to be triple threats. You had to act, sing, and dance. So we sing a lot on our videos and then on our lives.
Okay.
I think too, getting the ageist thing going. I think you're really good with responding to some of the ageist comments. That for me, I was always a little afraid of, I don't know if I want to respond to that person. But you do it very well.
Well, it depends
What
on
does that look like for you guys? And I mean, you guys don't have to share it by any means, but what does that typically look like? What do those comments sound like?
I used to get, remember when we first started, I used to get Mrs. Doubtfire all the time.
Oh, wow.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
And Cheryl's mother.
And we get, look at the old grandmas, or look at the old people, or why are you old people doing this?
Or,
we don't get it quite as much.
Not
as much.
Yeah.
But you were good.
Because your brand has now overshadowed it and people know who you are.
I don't know. We still get some stuff, but not as much. You know.
So,
I don't know. But it hasn't been. I mean, it's been surprising, and it's also, sometimes it's hurtful depending on the day, and then other times it's like, really,
did you really say that?
really,
Are we really being ageist here?
or now it's like, oh, that's authentic. When somebody now says Mrs. Doubtfire, I'm like,
You're like,
oh,
never heard that before.
Never heard that. Or the Golden Girls, never heard that before.
Or they'll call us,
that.
which could be grandmas, but neither one of us are grandmas.
Neither one of us.
So we just say, well, we're not grandmas.
Well, you guys were both young at one point, right? So, like we always say, this is one thing that irritates everybody. I always continuously say, I feel old. And primarily because, to me, I mean, I have 3 daughters. It tires you out. It does tire you out. But kind of leading into that, you were both younger at one point. If your younger self was able to see you guys today dancing and doing trends on TikTok and killing it, really, what would you think your younger self would say?
I think my younger self would be excited.
I think
the longevity is really important because we've had a lot of longevity in this business, and I think your younger self would be the same thing. Of course, we're still on.
You go, girl. No, I don't think either one of us thought that this would be happening to us at 63, and now we're 67.
Neither one of us want to retire. So, you kind of go with what is happening. We're from Los Angeles. We look at trends. We look at things. We've weathered the storm in LA.
And we took a risk.
Taking a risk. Some people don't want to take a risk.
But we took a risk when we moved out here. She came from Avoca, Wisconsin. I came from Boulder, Colorado. And, we took risks moving out here by ourselves, not knowing anyone. And, I think that's what life is all about. It's a journey of, you got to be brave. You got to follow your dreams. And then you have to stay persistent to it. And I always laugh when people go, well, I'm out here. I came to LA. I'm going to give it 3 years.
We're like, how about 40?
Maybe you need to go on home because you're going to have some ups and downs. It's not going to be snip, snap.
Yeah, no.
So
it is. Continuing the journey. I think our younger selves would be proud.
Oh, so proud. So proud.
And excited.
Well, if you think about it, her son, who is how old?
32.
32. He is so proud of us. And I lost my son, but my son would be jumping over the moon about it. He would just be so happy. I mean, he would be giddy. Yeah.
I always so one thing I've always been asked a lot is, because here where I'm from, I'm in Yakima, Washington. So out of Yakima, Washington, Stan and I are actually both out of here. But it's not a hub for creators. You don't have creators blooming out of the woodworks. It just doesn't happen like that. Right. A lot of times what you have here is somebody who wants to, especially with today's market, it's a lot different, right? If you own a business, you have to be on social media. And it's a struggle. It's one of the first times ever that you can have a mom and pop business now start competing with the big dogs and making the big dogs have to look over their shoulder because they're concerned that you have, the average day, let's just say, skincare company that just started a few days ago blowing up on TikTok. Now they're making everybody else nervous and scared. And one thing that kind of leads to is the question and commonality from a lot more people about social media, influencers. I mean, shoot, just last year we were getting joked about influencers and, go find a real job. And that's always been a common, theme with a lot of people, but it's been shifting and changing because the market, and you have to now.
I know, and I think people want to know how to do it now because I teach at college.
Exactly.
The students are saying, how did you do this?
So leading off of what I was just saying, if there was any advice you guys would be able to give somebody, because there is, like I said, everybody is questioning now how to do it. And you'll see a lot of people who will end up starting posting, and maybe a day or a couple days later, they have one video that gets 1,000 views. The next video gets 30 and then 45, and it just never grows, and they get concerned and they fall off. Or let's just say, like you were talking about the negative comments, they're not able to receive that. What would you tell somebody?
I think consistency, because sometimes we do go, and there's 2 of us. We've said this before. We can't quit on the same day. So that's a little bit easier having a twosome because, we help each other stay in the game. When you're single, when you're by yourself. But then we have to get together because we live with our husbands.
Yeah.
In different parts of LA.
So we
have to schedule.
We have to commute and schedule.
So that's hard. But I think consistency, because once in a while we'll look at our trends and our things that just don't hit. And then maybe a month or two goes by and all of a sudden one just takes off. And then you get that excitement again. I think it's just staying in the game for me.
And I agree. And I think post. Just post.
Yeah, just post.
And now we're seeing that shorter is better. Also, we went to VidCon
twice.
Yeah, twice. And one of the best things we heard was get in your niche. Know what your niche is.
Right.
And then use it like a
reality TV, not reality, like a
TV
talk
show.
Like a talk show.
And like what you're going to do is like we do dancing, we do singing, but we're not going to cook.
No. So we're more like a Jimmy Fallon, or we're entertaining rather than
do what you know to do, but give a variety of stuff, but not a ton, so that you have different things. We also do comedy. So those are 3 pillars that we work on when we're looking at stuff. Dancing, comedy, if we can sing to somebody, we had a
fitness
thing for a while, but
we're more dancers. We are like.
So I would write out what you do and then do that and post to that and be consistent with posting to that. I think consistency is
the
key. And then, you want to engage. Cheryl and I, when we get comments, we always respond. Always. We just don't like.
Yeah.
We'll write. We'll say thank you. She's really good at writing. Thank you, Michael. I'll be like, thanks. And she actually calls them by name, responding.
And sometimes I go into I look at their page. I'll write a little bit on there, So it is engagement.
Early on, Cheryl's really good about going on other people's lives.
I do. I love other people's lives.
So go on other people's lives because then you befriend each other. So if you're trying to grow, you have to get involved with other people that are on TikTok. So if you've got a makeup company, then you would want to go to a bigger makeup person and be on their live and then engage with all of that. So that was a big thing. Yeah, I just think we found our niche and people, and we did it over and over and over again. And that's why we have the follower count on TikTok that we do. Now, we always laugh and go, well, we only have 680,000 on TikTok, and on Instagram, we only have 140,000. And then her son always goes, excuse me, only? So we are blessed, Dad. We are blessed, that what we have, the uniqueness we have of being older and being really great dancers took off. And as well it should. We've lived a long time.
Yeah.
So, but with the kind of going and growing pains of social media, I mean, you guys kind of hit on it as well. We do understand that there is the negative comments that come, and they will come. I feel, to be entirely honest, I do feel like a lot of that just comes because people want to see you have a response. They want to see you, if you're live, they want to make a comment so they can see you go crazy about their comment. Like they want to clip it. They want to be able to post it.
They want attention.
Exactly. What would you tell somebody who wants to stop posting content because they're just tired of all the negative comments that come around?
You got to have a thick skin.
Yeah, you
just do. And the whole life, in life, you have to have a thick skin.
I would start blocking those people.
Yeah, you block them on your live. We block them on the live.
We do. And, now here's an interesting thing that happened. We recently we usually get ageism. We usually don't get racism.
No.
So what happened is that we did the
LA got it.
Law and Order
dance.
But we were one of the first to do it. It just happened.
It was a beautiful group of great dancers. Yeah. They just happened to be Black. For us, we were looking at dances, right? Because we're dancers. So we were looking at these great dancers that were young. They happened to be Black. We happen to be white and old. So
which usually doesn't ever come up.
Never.
In 5 years, that's never.
So we did it put it on. You should go check it out because the stuff, I mean, we caused a ruckus.
But then, then that's why it kind of gets into the FYP because everybody's talking to
Everybody's talking about
that
it.
makes sense.
So, there's an upside.
You just have to, we just
kept saying, we're dancers. We love this. We love, the style of this.
To me,
That's kind of what it was.
It just made no sense to me. I was like, this is TikTok, people. The man, the young man that put it on with his friends, he was so ecstatic because he got like 17 million views from this thing because it was adorable. I mean, it was funny. Awesome. It was witty. It was smart. And that's why we did it.
That was a couple weeks ago. And now it's,
So anyway,
well,
you
two, you guys kind of became friends, right? During this whole evolution of the baby boomers and kind of how that came around, right? So how has your friendship evolved since your TikTok journey started?
Well,
has it changed in any way?
We've been friends for 47 years, though.
We've been friends since we were in our 20s. We're now 67.
We met when we were 20, and so we've had 47 years.
Friendship. However, I can tell you, us working together, because now it's a business. This is a business. And my husband always says how proud he is of Cheryl and I, because we've had to learn to work together as a company.
Right.
Which we've never had to do before. Hi, Georgie. Never had to do before. So we had to figure that out.
Right. Because, we just kind of get in a room and start talking and deciding and it just flowed into what it is today, which is good.
Yeah, I think one of the nicest things with us is that, there really is no egos. Cheryl wants to do it this way. I'm like, whatever. I want to have an idea about that. She's like, whatever.
You want to wear? Wearing yellow.
Grab something yellow.
Yeah.
We just.
Does that step work better on the right foot? Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a bad hip last year.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
So, which usually is the thing. My body doesn't work that way. So.
Or I had a bad hip. Now I've replaced it. But I used to go, I can't hop on the left hip. Now I can. But we work it out.
And now we know also because. I think part of social media, at least on TikTok, is post.
Yeah, and she posts all the time.
We used to be worried about, is it perfect enough?
Yeah.
And now we don't care.
No.
We run through it. We do it a couple of times. If I'm not perfect, I'm like, put it up. And we just do it.
And Beth really learned how to post and edit and do all this stuff on her phone. So she'll wake up in the morning and post and, it's good. I stay on late at night with the lives. And
she does the lives. We found what we do.
I'm a night out and she's a morning girl. And
I'm in bed by 8.
She's in bed. I'm like talking to people. Hey, what you doing? Where you at?
I've been in your guys' lives before. And I have. And one thing I'll say that I truly do love about it, it seems very community based. You guys are very yourself and very organic, and you can see the genuine care from the people who are in the comment section conversating with you, and that's your community. So with that kind of being said, have you ever just stopped and thought about how many people that you guys have inspired just by being yourself, and what does that truly mean to you guys?
That's a good one. Have you thought of that?
No.
We haven't thought of that. That's a good one.
I think we do have a lot of young women followers. That have a mother-daughter, either an issue or a desire to. We've had a lot of sad stories be told us. So, I like that. I think people do like our, openness, our transparency. We do have some loyal followers for 5 years now. They've been very loyal.
I know, it's been 5 now. We're going into 6, right? Yeah, we're going into 5.
We hope. I hope we inspire people.
That's nice. I never really thought about it.
I think the most inspirational thing that I could think that I would love for people to think about us is, it's never too late. Right. Never give up on your dream. Never give up. Just keep going. Just to enjoy it.
That's true.
We've had so much fun. We've gotten to do so many things.
And going to the True Choice Awards was fun.
Yes, meeting you.
And it was fun. We didn't even know what that was. And somebody said, "Oh,
it's a fun time.
You're nominated."
You're nominated. And we're like, "What is this?" Yeah, it was fun. Always fun.
So Hitting on that, you kind of mentioned the Cheer Choice Awards. Would you be able to give me a couple? Here, I'm trying to think of this because I just thought of this right off the top of my head. With the Cheer Choice Awards, what was your guys' favorite moment about the Cheer Choice Awards? Is this something that you guys can say, man, that was an amazing time, and I hope that it comes back? Because you guys probably saw the announcement. It's not going to come back until 2026.
Oh, we didn't see that.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, 2025, or excuse me, this is 2025. So it happened in 2025. It won't be coming out until the following year. So this next year, they're going to take a hiatus to kind of piece things together and try to make it a better experience for everybody.
That's understandable. That's a lot to take on.
I think one of my favorite things was meeting all of you. I mean, we met so many great people, didn't we?
We did. Alfred, we've been there twice. Once when we were nominated, the second time we went to support everybody. The first time we had no idea what we were doing. We were so honored, and we even invited our two little agents that are in their 20s, or maybe early 30s, to come because we had no idea. And so they put us down front, and we thought for sure we weren't going to win because
the newscaster.
We were there with
the weatherman. The
weatherman.
He talked to the people. We were like, the weatherman's going to win.
Costin Mayer. Yeah. Really phenomenal people. So they put us down front. And I thought, isn't that sweet? Because, put the elderly down front so that we can see.
And then I went, we're down front.
That's what she thought. I had no.
The stairs are right there.
No clue. And then I do have to admit, having your name called, we were shocked.
It's shocking. That was a shocking part. The whole event was fun, but that part was shocking.
That was shocking.
Because we really didn't expect it at all. We didn't even have anything planned to say. We just kind of winged it.
Yeah. That first year, though, that's when we really met some, O&M Coffee.
O&M Coffee.
Hippie.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
No, Hippie.
Wholesome Hippie.
Wholesome Hippie.
Yes, who was always a sponsor. Mm-hmm. Yes. So Slim Sherry, yeah.
Yeah, Slim Sherry. She's amazing.
We met some
yes.
Yeah, we met D-Lo cookies. We just, met some incredible people that we've actually seen, prior.
The Flavor Rican.
Yes, yeah. JJ the Flavor Rican.
Yes. So as kind of being on the frontline team, it's been fun to be able to experience a lot and see a lot of creators, new creators, those who are in the influencer world, strong in the community. And for you guys being able to be there, this is your second year. If you were to give any advice to the Cheer Choice Awards committee, it's a whole event, so it's a few days. What would you guys give them?
I know the second year was a little different than the first.
Okay.
Right. And I heard everybody really loved the first year the best.
The one that we didn't go to. We went to the second.
Have you gone to all of
them? Past 2 years, not the one prior.
Okay, so you've been to the same that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard that the first was like awesome, and then the second we thought was awesome, of course, because we won also. And we had no idea. The third one, it was cool. I was a little disappointed with some things. There was a different feel around it for me.
Sure.
There was a different feel.
What was that feel like, if I may ask?
Wasn't as all-inclusive feeling.
Okay.
It was sort of like, are you in or are you out or are you on that boundary, Instead of like that first year we went, it seemed like everyone really was just so excited.
It could have been because we were top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been that.
And then we didn't know what to expect just to go.
Sure.
So I think sometimes communication wasn't as clear.
Yeah. I find that there was some breakdown with the communication, yeah. And but it's such a big event.
Yeah.
Event,
hard
yes.
to keep it going like that.
To me, it's always so mind-blowing that Danielle and the team can be able to put something like that together.
I know.
With just as small as a group as they are. It's just so crazy. I couldn't imagine being able to do all that and being able to piece it together and putting the parts together, like the script writing, like it's
I don't know how they do it.
No, it's amazing.
Yeah.
We really had a good time.
Yeah, and
we bonded with a lot of people.
And it's such a good cause.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
I love it when they show what all they do, and it could even be
Yes,
more of that. I think, of the good give backs.
for
Right.
sure.
Right.
It's
a
they've
Yeah,
got
no,
they've got their thing down.
They do. It's a
yeah.
funny.
See, I love these conversations because one thing it always does, especially for someone even like me, being on the frontline team, it allows me to get a little bit of insight.
Hmm.
Without collaboration, this is one thing I've always spoken about, and I've always spoken so highly about is collaboration. If you do not have collaboration, you will fail no matter what you're doing in life. If it's a marriage, you need two to work. If it's, going to school as a younger kid, you need that teacher to help you and guide you along the way. You need your community. When you're working as a creative, you need a team. Like you need people
True.
behind you there to be able to communicate with and collaborate with, and especially in these type of events when you have the collaboration of the influencers who are there, that helps.
Yeah,
I
and I
truly
think
believe TikTok, as a platform itself, they grew so dramatically because they started taking a lot of insight from what a lot of their top creators were finding success in.
makes sense.
Yeah, makes
And
sense.
a lot of platforms, a lot of communities, and I shouldn't even say communities, more like businesses that tend to fail a lot is because you always have somebody at the top and they dictate everything that happens, and there is no form of collaboration. And that's when you get into your head and things start, fading away and failing. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
all great insight, definitely.
Yeah, and I think, the more people that either you do Zoom with and
Mhm.
run but things by so that you have different people's input, what would you like to see, or what needs to happen here, or let me run this dialogue by
Yeah.
you, or do you think this skit is funny, or do you have I don't know. I mean, just more volunteers and more
Yeah.
people's input, just like what you're saying, it could be overwhelming, but it might be a really great thing just to have, not that you have to take it, but to hear what
Yeah,
other
for
people have
sure.
to say.
Right. For
Because,
sure.
I even think something that could be beneficial too, even from my perspective, would be something similar to like VidCon in a sense, where you have the creator tracks and you have these type of panels you're able to go to listen to people talk. I think it would be rather interesting, especially when creators are bringing and inviting their communities. It might be something fun for there to be a type of setting where instead of like maybe the comedy show or whatever the case may be, maybe they add an extra opportunity where it can be creators, top creators who are coming to the event in different niches. And there's a big panel and they're talking about creating content and content ideation, what
Hmm.
their experience has been. And maybe it's about brands, where the case may be. But I think that could be something of benefit as well.
Absolutely.
Because we did enjoy, that's why we went to VidCon. We did
Yes.
learn a lot at VidCon.
Oh, a lot.
And I think at True Choice, we would try to like maybe get time to do things with different creators, but we were busy. So we didn't always, we were going to film a TikTok with Zach, or we were going to film a TikTok with, and we
Yeah.
didn't always get to it because you're kind of running. There wasn't that place.
And also, like
do it.
Zach was there too. He, was presenting. He was
Oh,
on
yeah,
stage.
Zach was so
he
busy.
had, all of this, and he's also there, traveled, and he wants to enjoy himself
Right.
too. And
We can't always be
sometimes the last thing you want to do
is a TikTok with us.
So,
We love him,
as we're kind of closing now, I'm going to try starting something a little bit different as well. And for you guys, is there any advice that you can give somebody who is watching this? Maybe it's somebody who is an up and coming creator. Maybe it's somebody who isn't into the content creation space. Is there anything that you guys can give from a perspective of, you guys been doing this for quite some time now, and you found success. You've been through the highs, the lows. You've understood things that a lot of us haven't been able to understand yet. What type of advice would you give somebody who maybe just be watching?
I think we've brought different people in too, besides the two of us, to kind of help us. We brought agents in. We've had meetings with different people. I think you keep searching for what the next step is, don't you think?
Yeah, and we brought our friends in.
We brought friends in to dance in our videos.
People that love us and
Right.
that are good at what they do. Also, knowing exactly who you are, what your niche is, and the consistency that you've talked about.
Consistency is good. And we found something with us. We did that Wednesday dance, and then Halloween, and we were witches, and all of a sudden that took us to a whole other place. We didn't even realize, okay, it's Halloween. Should we dress up like a witch? Sure. Try something.
Brought in a whole different group of people.
Right.
There's just I think the bottom line, though, for Cheryl and I, you need to really enjoy what you're doing.
That's very true.
You know, if we weren't having fun, if we weren't laughing once in a while, and we laugh a lot.
Yeah, we do.
You know,
That's true.
don't do it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants a sad sack.
No, you want it to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And uplifting.
So I'm going to have so leading into, my next podcast, one thing I would like from my guests is there a question that you could give to the next guest that they can answer?
Question that the next guest can answer.
A question for another influencer?
Yes. It might be an influencer and it might not be. It may be somebody who is more of, head of an organization, not entirely too sure yet who the specific next guest is. But let's just say influencer, because I have an idea of who it is.
I don't know.
For me right now with Cheryl and I think our biggest thing is, the collab financial part of it. What do you charge for a 30-second video? What is your worth?
Right.
How do you come to the realization of who gets a freebie, who gets $1,000 TikTok, who gets a $30,000 for 30-second deal? It's like we have agents, but also they rely on us so much sometimes to set the price
because it's TikTok and it's not our SAG work, right? So,
yeah.
And I always want to know what tips and tricks they've found. Because
when we're always dealing with corporations,
right? And when dealing with corporations is a whole other game. If they do,
yes.
If they don't, my question is always about the algorithm. And everybody tries to figure out the algorithm, and I'm always trying to listen to everybody and what they say. And so I ask people that all the time:
Is there really an algorithm?
What do you think? That's always on my mind because sometimes things happen, and sometimes you don't even get on the FYP. And it's just an interesting. I don't know if
it's a numbers game.
Yeah,
that's what I always feel like, and I don't have all the answers, so I'm definitely gonna answer that.
I don't know if anybody does because it keeps changing all the time.
It feels like we're on a U.S. server when it comes to TikTok. I don't know if that's verified or not.
That's what I do.
It feels like there's been a big shift, and we're on a U.S. server. And the U.S. server is testing different algorithm changes. That's why certain things will work at one point, and then something won't work. Right. And I feel that it's easier for them to make the changes now, so making the tests possible. So if we don't like something, we can blame it on TikTok. If this isn't working, we're blaming it on TikTok. But it allows them to see what works, because once they find what works, that new I think it's M1, that new M1 app that ends up coming out will have the same model as what we're already using. So we're going to still be on a different algorithm change, but they're trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work.
So do you think they're going to combine it though? Or do you think they're going to let this go and we have to start all over? Or have you heard anything?
It's said now, obviously we know how sometimes things are said and it doesn't end up happening that way. But from what I'm told is that nothing's going to change. That we're going to just move. We're already on the server. That's going to be the server when it comes to the M1. We're just going to move our profiles over here. Now, I don't necessarily know how accurate that is because, when you're told something, it feels like there could be errors in a lot of it. Like what's going to happen with TikTok Shop, what's going to happen to a lot of the changeovers that do happen. Like, are they going to go and clear out every single bot account that's on TikTok? Like, what are they going to truly do with the M1 app? And I think that's kind of still a mystery. But as far as I'm aware, in my understanding, we're on that US server and we're the tests. We're in the test mode currently, like a beta stage.
It'll be interesting. I had my phone out. You were at dinner, I think, when we went down back in how many months ago that was, where it went to those little lines and then it went off.
Yeah.
We went off. And I'm like,
I know you guys got to get going. And thank you guys for joining me today. I do appreciate it. Do you want to let everybody know where they can actually find you guys on socials?
Sure.
We're at DaBabyBoomers on TikTok and Instagram. And
we are on
YouTube. DaBabyBoomers, Cheryl and Beth.
For Beth and Cheryl.
Beth and Cheryl, something. But you'll find us there. And so please follow us there. And I would love to be able to sing you out.
Uh-oh, what are we going to sing?
Yes, please do. Please do. And before you start, hey, everybody, I'm going to drop it in the show notes as well. So you'll be able to go ahead and click and follow.
Okay. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Happy trails to you till we meet again.
Yes.
That's how we end our lives.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Had a blast.
Thank you for having us, Michael.